Hello students, today we are going to start with our new lesson, that is the lesson number 5 of civics, the Indian judiciary. So in this lesson we are going to learn about what the judiciary system it is there in our country. So what we have learned till now. In the last chapter we have learned about the rules of a laws, means what, how the laws are formed, how the laws are implemented, that we have seen. Through that we have learned that the laws are equal for everyone. Means there is no any kind of discrimination on the basis of the caste, color, creed or gender. So the law is equal for everyone. So whenever there is a violation of a law, the judicial system, this is what the third organ of the government. Okay, so we know that the legislature, the executives and the judiciary, these are the three organs of the government. So the uh, they only resolve such type of a violation of a law. The judiciary consists of a system of courts that is responsible for administering justice, interpreting laws, and protecting the fundamental rights of the citizen. So this is what the role of the judiciary it is played. What they used to do, they administered the justice. They interpret the laws. They interpret the laws means what the laws are there actually that is explained by the judiciary, and also the judiciary protects the fundamental rights of the citizens. The fundamental rights, whatever the fundamental rights which are provided or given by the constitution to us in our day-to-day lives. So the judiciary that is also custodian of our constitution plays a very important role in the proper running of the democratic system. So the judiciary only provide the custody, means what, they used to provide the safety and the security to the constitution. So now we are going to see about the next point, that is the role of judiciary. So what the actual role of a judiciary it is there. The judiciary reconciles the disagreement between the citizen. Reconcile means what, they resolve. Resolve whatever the disputes are there between or the disagreement between the citizens. Whenever there is a dispute between the citizen, it is resolved by the judiciary. Then that system of a disagreement can be between the government and the citizen. Whatever the programs and the policies which are run by the side of the government, if the citizens are not satisfied or disagreed with the same, then there can be a dispute. Then between the two state governments, the two state governments can also have such type of a disagreement over the boundaries or over the water. Okay, we have must heard about the such type of a news through the television. Then between the center and the state government, so such type of a disagreement can be also there with the central government and the state government. So all these disputes can be reconciled in the judiciary. Then the judiciary is the final authority on the constitution and can declare any law passed by the parliament. So we know that the laws passed by the parliament in the previous chapter we have learnt about it. So the final authority is there about regarding the constitution, it is there with the judiciary. So as per that, the judiciary can declare it as a unconstitutional, means it is against the constitution or not according to the constitution, can be declared by the judiciary. So if it goes against the basic ideals of the constitution, if that such type of a law, if it is against the basic ideals of the constitution, then it can be declared as a unconstitutional by the judiciary. This is called the judicial review. So this type of a action is called as the judicial review. Then the third is what? The judiciary upholds and implements the fundamental rights of the citizens. Okay, upholds and implements the fundamental rights of the citizens, and thus the people can move the court in case of violation of their rights. If any individual violates that fundamental rights, then the people or the citizen can move to the court for the justice. So this is what the role of a judiciary. Now we are turning towards the next point. This is what the independence of judiciary. So as we know that the three organs of the government are there: executive, legislature and the judiciary. So the role of a judiciary is completely independent. So how is it? The framers or the constitution ensured independence of the judiciary in the following ways. So how the independence of the judiciary is explained? The first is what? The most important provision in the constitution is the separation of power. Separation of power. That is what the legislature and the executive cannot interfere in the work of the judiciary. Means there is no any kind of interference done by the side of the legislature and the executive. So this is what the separation of power. So the judiciary is completely separate. The second is similarly the appointment of a judges. The other organs of the state do not play any significant role. So the appointment of a judges, this appointment of a judges is totally done by the side of the judiciary only. There is no interference by any organ of the state. Then the third, moreover, the removal of judges. So as per the whole and sole authority of the appointment of the judges is in the hands of the judiciary. The removal of the judges from their offices is a complex process. So the removal of a judges, once the judges are appointed, the removal of the judges is a kind of a complex process. It is very much difficult. It is just like the removal of the president from his or her post. So the impeachment, that process it is done for the removal of the judges as for the presidents. So but judges also get the so neither the legislature nor the executive, so the legislature and the executives cannot misuse their power and influence the judicial process. So in this way the legislature and the executive cannot interfere with the processes of the judiciary. Then the next is what? Not only the appointments made for a fixed tenure, means whatever the appointments are there that are for the fixed tenure as per the rules of the government, but the judges also get the handsome remuneration. Handsome remuneration. Remuneration means what? Nothing but only the returns, or we can say that the salaries. The salaries which are paid to the judges are really very good or a high, so that the financial inducement do not influence their official decisions. So the judges cannot be connected with the financial inducement. Inducement means nothing but only the bids or we can say that lure, etc. Okay. Then the last point is what? The government also takes care of the security so that any powerful criminal does not intimidate them. Okay, intimidate them. So the government also used to provide the security to these judges because the cases are related with the criminals. So the criminals, the powerful criminals should not put any kind of pressure on these judges, and so for this purpose the security is provided to the judges. So this is what the independence of a judiciary. Now the next point we are going to take, that is the structure of courts in India. So what type of a courts are there in our country? So the India has a single unified judicial system. There is a single unified judicial system in our country, and with that the Supreme Court is on the apex. Apex level means what? Highest level. The Supreme Court it is there. The decision of the higher courts are binding on the lower courts. So whatever the lower courts are there means the local courts, that is the Tehsil court, district courts or any other session courts, that all comes under control of the high courts. Okay, so whatever the decisions which are given by the side of that high courts, that are binding for the other lower courts. Both the Supreme Courts and the high courts are courts of records. The Supreme Court and the high courts both are considered as the courts of record. Why it is so? Because whenever any verdict it is passed, many means any decision it is passed by the side of the by these courts, they used to record it in the form of a documents. And for what the purpose? Because when the required these rulings are cited as the instance in the dispensing justice. So whenever such type of cases are there in future, then with the help of these examples of the previous cases, the justice can be passed. So beside the district court and the district and the session courts, there are, so what the other courts are there? The revenue court, the first is a revenue court. As per the name, we can get know that what the role it is played by the revenue court. That are what responsible for assessing and collecting the land revenue. So the land tax it is collected by these revenue courts. The Board of a Revenue is the highest revenue court. Board of Revenue is the highest revenue court under the control of the High Court. So they work under the control of a High Court, while at the district level it is the court of the collector. So on the district level it is called as a court of collector. So this is what the revenue courts. The next is what? The Panchayat courts. The Panchayat courts deal with the PT criminal and the civil cases. So the criminal and the civil cases at the village level, at that rural level or the village level, that are often referred to as the Nyaya Panchayat or Gram Kachari. So these Panchayat courts are also referred as the Nyaya Panchayat or a Gram Kachari, and they works on the level of a villages. Normally, the 3 or 4 villages have one panchayat court, and the people can appeal against its decision in higher courts. So, if the people are not satisfied with the decisions by the panchayat court, they can appeal in the higher courts as well. So, these are what the structure of the courts in India. So, students, here we are going to stop. The remaining part will continue in the next. Thank you.